Well, hello, this is Bishop Udell, and I'm bringing you a world missions article written by Lyle P. Murphy of Union Gospel Press. He says, this week's lesson, quote, Jesus' baptism, unquote, highlights the beginning of Jesus' early ministry. The Holy Spirit's role in these events remind us that he is always at work calling out disciples for leadership roles. In addition, the Spirit is always pioneering new Christian ministries. There are few churches, Christian schools, or missions that remain unchanged for 200 years. The modern missionary movement had its beginning with spirit-led men like William Carey. Missions historians call this beginning period starting about 1800, the period of, quote, classical missions, unquote. Most of the early mission societies were denominational. Over time, most were integrated into the churches that controlled them. Many became ecumenical in viewpoint. Faith missions date from the founding of Hudson Taylor's China Inland Missions, now OMF, in 1865. Taylor originally had no intention of launching a new mission, but after several years in China as a missionary, he had become frustrated over the lassitude of classical missions. Finally, he decided it was time to open a faith missionary endeavor. The hallmark of faith missions is the emphasis on evangelism in preference to doctrinal issues. The faith principle was embodied in the position on remuneration for workers. Taylor's principle, number 4, holds, quote, missionaries receive no salary, but expect that God will supply their every need through the hands of his children, unquote. Side note here, that's how Bishop Udell is supported by people who supports him to go out to the mission field and help people locally and globally. Let's continue with what Lyle P. Murphy has written here. The missionaries that you know may serve under denominational boards or faith mission societies. In general, Taylor's principle of faith support is still followed by many societies today. After approval for service, the candidate will approach the home church and other churches and individuals who know the missionary about taking on a portion of the financial need. When the whole sum is raised, the candidate can proceed to the field. Most faith missions assess some of the missionary support for administrative and other expenses. Lyle P. Murphy continues. The winning of souls and the planting of new churches is the full and ultimate goal of all missionary activity. The Holy Spirit sovereignly calls his laborers into the harvest. He also makes the places of service plain to the societies and the missionaries. One of the evidences that missions are a divine undertaking is that workers rarely wind up in places with great climates and with people who are eager to hear the gospel. Many missionaries labor on in unwholesome climates and disease-ridden areas among hostile people. One society lost its first 9 missionaries in Africa to disease, travel hazards, and tribal violence. The society did not give up. Today, there are hundreds of churches where those missionaries fell in their faithful service to God. Lyle P. Murphy closes. There's no higher calling in all the world than to take the gospel to people who really do not want it. Missionaries can be sure that the Holy Spirit will guide them to the place of his choosing. Faithfully presented, the gospel will achieve the Lord's particular purposes. Whether the field remains difficult and unresponsive, or a great spiritual harvest ensures to the work of the Spirit on hearts he has prepared, faithfulness is what God looks for. Thank you, Lyle P. Murphy, writing on this World Missions article in Union Gospel Press. Join us again next time, and we'll have some more information to share with you on world missions.